right. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. I'm Officer 5000. I will be holding down tonight's class. Yeah. You could just, I don't think we got one. You could just, power button. Oh man, I thought I had my greeting in Espanol. But I gotta pull it up. All right, so tonight is Christmas Eve. And y'all could be at home. You could be anywhere else doing whatever else you want to do, but y'all in here with me. So give yourselves a hand for not doing what everybody in the world is doing right now, and that's getting prepared for Christmas. Everybody. I know around this time when I was small, my parents used to feed us, and then they used to hurry up and put us to bed so that they can wrap the presents. They used to wrap. They used to wrap them like a night like tonight. How I know? Because I woke up and I caught them. Woke up, came downstairs, and what are they doing? They downstairs wrapping a bunch of presents. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. I didn't have that luxury of somebody saying Santa Claus isn't real. I had to just figure it out by seeing my parents, seeing the toys in the closet, getting up in the middle of the night and catching them wrapping the presents and stuff like that. Then I'm like, I just figured it out. But if I could, we're gonna start with Proverbs. Give me Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7. And I got a little small video clip, right? I got a little small video clip because so I was watching, I've been watching, trying to find out the Afro Latinas, Afro Mexican, Afro whatever. Right. And so I had got interested in Argentina, right? Because Argentina was one of these countries. When I started looking at Argentina, it said that Argentina had a campaign to breed out black people. And so at one point in time, black people was a third of the population in Argentina because they were, niggas was brought as slaves. Right. And so it came a point where in the government of we are. Oh, it's not I'm not sure. It might be HDMI 1. So I get y'all. Is this HDMI 4? Is there a course? Hold on. Give me this one. So y'all. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right. So when I was looking at Argentina, the population, they said about maybe 700 ships had came to Argentina. And they dropped off 70,000 to 100,000 people, right? And so over time, it became a point where the colonizers or the oppressor wanted to breed the black out of Argentina. And so what they did was they made it to where, of course, they always make you feel dumb. They always make you feel stupid. They always make you feel ugly, right? And then so they make you feel ashamed to be black. So what do? Is they create an atmosphere where it's socially acceptable for you to just have a baby with somebody who's white. And so over time, over centuries and centuries, that's what the people in Argentina has been doing. They've been having babies with the colonizer, and then essentially, like, you know, lightening up the country. So that's what that's the impression that I had of Argentina. That's what it was. You look at their soccer team. Everybody looked like Esau, right? Until I came across this documentary, and the ladies in this documentary is it's like a 4-part series. It's like a 4-part series, and the ladies in this documentary is talking about how, you know, they came as slaves, and that you know, people they're like ashamed to even call themselves black. They ashamed. So like, she's showing that her and her sisters are like dark skinned, but when you get to like when you start to get to like the kids, they start lightening up. The kids start lightening up, and they're so she's talking about slavery, and she's talking about how they're marginalized. She's talking about that they're not even part of the census. Like, they don't even get counted. It's not even there's not even a box that you can check that say Afro Argentina or Afro Argentine. And so they said they don't get any money. They don't get any they don't have any programs. They don't got nothing. And I'm sitting there, and as she's telling this story, I'm like, that's niggas in America. That's niggas in America. And there's another part in that documentary that I'm gonna show tonight where the guy starts talking about the Christian church. So I'm gonna correlate that with Christmas and Christianity. But give me what I call for Proverbs 1 and what? 7. Let me get there.
It's Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
What does that mean? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. What does that mean?
That means that you're afraid to break the laws.
Hmm?
You're afraid to break the laws because you don't want to get punished by it.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You should be afraid to break the law. Somebody give me some more. Give me some more on that. Right. So both of y'all put those both together, and that's what it is, right? Good job, y'all. Good job, y'all. So in order for you to even think you know anything, you got to fear the Lord first. So that's a problem in the Black community, is we don't fear the Lord. So how the hell do we think we knowledgeable and we don't even fear the Lord? Every Sunday when we go into now, we might be knowledgeable about something that we doing as far as our jobs or something like that. But when it comes to like life and the Bible, we're unwise people. We're unknowledgeable, right? And so why? Because when we go into our religious institutions every week, we go into these institutions faithfully. And some of our grandmoms, our grandma's been going into these institutions. They died in these institutions. They didn't went in the institutions young. They didn't got to the point where they started wearing the big hats. You know how you got to be like in a certain age group to wear the big hats. They start out young, then they get to the big hat group. And then, that group, you got the big veins in their legs and all. Yeah, that group, eating the pork and all that stuff. That group. So, our parents, our grandmoms and grandpas been in these religious institutions for ages. And not once do that pastor ever tell them to fear the Lord. The only way that you can fear because if you fear the Lord, you wouldn't eat the pork. If you feared the Lord, you wouldn't for one, if the pastor feared the Lord, he wouldn't be sleeping with the women in the church, knowing that they married and stuff like that. Feel me? So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So go ahead. Man, look, come on, what are we talking about here? Like, and then I had a dude tell me, right, that it don't matter that it was changed to Sunday as long as you worshiping the Lord. I'm like, where is that logic coming from? Because it clearly says this is going to be your Sabbath. These are your feast days. This is the days that you're gonna have to me. throughout your generations, forever. I mean, forever to me means forever. But the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Read on.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Do you understand why people look at black people like we foolish? They look at Hispanics like they foolish. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't fear the Lord, and because we'll come out there with all the wisdom. I come out there, and I know because I'm out there with y'all. I'm out there with Quahal. I'm out there with us when on Saturdays, when we go to camp and brothers is trying to teach and brothers is trying to bring all the wisdom, all the knowledge in the world. And guess what? People despise them. You can give a brother. You ever started talking about next time y'all go to camp, right? Or whenever you go to camp, and if y'all can remember this, whenever you start seeing somebody start talking about the oppressor, if there's black people in the crowd, watch how the black person acts. Watch how the black person acts. From my experiences, the black people, or not every black person, but black people, there's always somebody or a few that's going to get so uncomfortable by what you're saying that they're going to feel the need to walk over to the oppressor and say, man, I don't know what they're talking about, man. You know what I mean? I'm literally, it happens every single time. Start talking about the oppressor while Negro's sitting there. And he going to walk over there and be like, try to apologize for what I'm saying. Like, hey, man, I stop you. Hey, don't apologize for what I'm saying. He need to hear this. He need to hear this. Come on, man. But fools despise wisdom and instruction, right? That's what this is. This is what all wisdom and all instruction can come from here. This book has everything that's in the book has the power to literally fix us. I mean, imagine where some of us came from before we came in here, and it had the power to fix us. And we all come from all different walks of life. Imagine some of us, some of us came from harder lives than others, but we all ended up into this one place. And then I'll drop down to verse 10 if I could.
I will come, verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not.
Right. Your pastor is a sinner, right? He's a sinner, and he's trying to get you to come in there tomorrow night so that, you can feel all good, give presents to the church, give money to the church, all that kind of stuff like that. And if the Bible is saying if a sinner does what? Entice you to don't consent to him. You understand? Don't say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna come to that church. Stay home. Don't do anything. Matter of fact, come up in here, man. We're gonna be up in Upper Darby tomorrow, getting it on. Right? The general is gonna have a class. He's gonna be doing the Feast of Hanukkah live tomorrow from Upper Darby, and we will be there. Right? That's where everybody should be at. So again, could you read that one more time?
Proverbs 1 and 10. Mm-hmm. My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood.
Okay. Kohal, I'm about to have you read this book real quick. Hold on. With Saturnalia? Okay. Well, yeah, give me the. So have y'all ever heard of Saturnalia? I'm pretty sure you heard of Saturnalia, but y'all sisters heard of Saturnalia? Saturnalia, Kosh, you heard of Saturnalia, right? So Saturnalia is like well, I'll let the brother, you got an article? I'll let you read it and tell them what Saturnalia is.
All right, so this is Saturnalia from history.com, from the History Channel. And it starts off with what is Saturnalia?
Mm-hmm.
Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar, derived from older farming-related rituals.
It's from what?
Older farming-related rituals.
Who did it come from?
Ancient Rome.
So Saturnalia comes from Rome. All right, this, which you'll see later spawned into Christmas, right? So Saturnalia comes from Rome. And read that last part again.
It is the Salakia on the calendars derived from older farming related rituals of midwinter.
Okay, so the farming rituals of winter, right? Like the oppressor goes by the solstices, like winter solstice, summer solstice, all that kind of stuff, and based on the different solstices is what they like worship.
Right. Midwinter and the winter solstice, especially the practice of offering gifts or sacrifices to the gods during the winter sowing season.
So they will offer gifts or sacrifices, right? So people would get sacrificed during this time. Go ahead.
The pagan celebration of Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture and time, began as a single day.
Right. So if y'all notice, the first part of the name Saturnalia is Saturn, and people worship Saturn, for ages. Go ahead.
Kind out of one kind. But by the late Republic, 133 to 31 BC, it had expanded to a week-long festival during a week-long festival beginning December 17th on the Julian calendar, which the Romans used at the time. The winter solstice fell on December 25th. All right, and then it skips down to how the Romans celebrated Saturnalia.
How did they celebrate?
Instead of working, Romans spent Saturnalia gambling, singing, playing music, feasting, socializing, and giving each other gifts.
That's the spirit behind these holidays. What was it again? Because usually the holiday is like it's usually like a day where the peasants can do whatever they want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? The peasants usually can walk through the streets and what was they doing? And I don't know if that has it on there, but they usually have like orgies and crazy sex and stuff like that. But
I did read a different article about that.
Yeah.
It actually got banned in either Europe or when Slovakia. It was in Europe where they had to ban it because people were getting too out of hand with the celebration of Christmas with the orgies. But it does mention, if I could, it's a part that I didn't highlight.
This Saturn, this for y'all in the class right here. This is a picture of Saturn right here. You ever see that? Come on, man. This is a picture. I'm just saying. This is. It's like a dude biting the head off of a baby. That's right. You gotta watch how you say stuff nowadays. You get banned just for.
And that's his son, right?
Repeating what you see. I actually don't know who the kid is, but I just know that anytime I've seen anything about Saturn, they always show this picture right there.
That's Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone.
Oh man, but yeah, look at that picture, man. That's demonic. That's a demonic picture. Anybody can type it in. If y'all following along, I don't have it on the screen for y'all, but everybody in here can see it. You could type in a picture of Saturn biting the head off a kid, and there you go. So when you talk about Saturnalia, and when you talk about Saturn, and they're worshiping Saturn, this is a depiction of Saturn.
And if I could read the part that you mentioned about the slaves being able to walk around and stuff. It mentions something similar to that. It says even enslaved people did not have to work during Saturnalia, but were allowed to participate in the festivities. In some cases, they sat at the head of the table while their masters served them.
So Saturnalia. So we just going into the origins of which is of Christmas, right? And so a lot of times Black people, we be following these traditions and we don't even understand the origins of these traditions, man. This stuff come from out of Rome. All we do, we just happy to get the day off. In most cases, most of us got the day off. I mean, I got to work a double. I got to work 11 to 7, 7 to 3. But most of the time when holidays come, we just be happy to have a day off, man. Because you could come in, you could talk to a Black person and be like, man, you're not supposed to do that. This is the origins of this, or this is where this comes from. Black people be like, yeah, I know what you're saying, man, but it's a day that family get together. It's a day when family get together. Every time you're doing something wrong, it's always that's the excuse. But family can't get together on no other day. No other day. The only day that we can get together is the days that the oppressor set aside for us to get together. We can't seem to get together no other day. Come on, man. We got to try something different here. Did you have anything else on that?
Concert. It just
You
goes
got
into
it.
how Christmas, how Saturnalia led to Christmas. Thanks to the Roman Empire's conquest in Britain and the rest of Europe from the 2nd century BC to the 4th century AD, and their suppression of older seasonal rites practiced by the Celts and other groups, today's Western cultures derive many of their traditional celebrations from midwinter, from Saturnalia.
From midwinter.
The Christian holiday of Christmas especially owes many of its traditions to the ancient Roman festival, including the time of year Christmas is celebrated. The Bible does not give a date for Jesus's birth. In fact, some theologians have concluded he was probably born in spring, as suggested by references to the shepherds and sheep in the native story.
Hey, what it said? It said scholars. You got one sitting right in front of you.
Right.
We just went over that last week, right? When Christ was born. Go ahead.
But by the 4th century AD, Western Christian churches settled on celebrating Christmas on December 25th, which allowed them to incorporate the holiday with Saturnalia and other popular pagan midwinter traditions.
That said the 4th century?
It said the 4th, Salakia. Let me go right to it.
4th century towards the end. It said the 4th century is when they started.
By the 4th century AD.
So that's, 300. For ages, they've been celebrating this stuff for ages. So 300 years after Christ, they started celebrating, as paganism. Christ's birthday, try to lump in Christ's birthday, all that kind of stuff in there. They've been doing this for ages. And we just coming along when it seems like when they like repackaged it, rebranded it, they made it fun for the kids, Santa Claus coming down the thing, chimney, everything for the kids. But y'all do know in what place is that? In Sweden, y'all ever heard of Krampus?
Krampus concert.
Y'all heard of Krampus? Krampus is like, okay, in other parts of the world, Santa Claus comes to bring you presents, but if you was bad, then it's this black demon that'll come. For you got that one too? You can give me that. And maybe something on what was it? What is it called? Sinterklaas.
Sinterklaas is RTP.
Sinterklaas.
I sent you a picture of it. I don't know if you'll be able to get it to the computer.
Yeah, but yeah, just because I'll just hold it up in front of the
concert. So this is an article about Christmas and Saturnalia. It says the Salakia for the title, but it says the history of Christmas sex. One of the highlights is Romans Gone Wild. And it says at the end of the year, Rome was the place to party. Social norms went out the window as the city took on a carnivalesque atmosphere. Excessive drinking, feasting, cross-dressing, and orgies were commonplace.
Yeah, that's the spirit of Esau. And so during these times, like you was reading in both of these articles, when you put them together, it was a time where the slaves can now walk around and do stuff. And you could just, now you got free reign to be whoever and whatever you want to be. You got some more on that?
Just a little bit more.
You got it. Go ahead.
It says the Roman poet Martial published during the Saturnalia as he felt that the liberal spirit caused by the festival made a licentiousness nature of many of his epigrams permissible.
That's funny. That's funny. Give me yeah, I'm gonna get the Sinterklaas, and then I'm gonna get the book. Yeah, if you could. So give me, I got a scripture for y'all real quick. You said at the time they were allowed to be very liberal, and that's a term. Give me Isaiah 32:5. And that's a term that we use today. Who uses that term today? Politicians. For which go ahead, Itara. For the Democratic Party, go ahead. Proverbs. All right, Isaiah 32:5. That you're correct. So that's a term that we hear today, and that's a term that we hear all the time, every day. If you turn on the news and you're going to hear liberalism, the liberals, and the liberals are the Democratic Party. What the liberals are a group of people that just want to allow you to do anything. The liberals is like, okay, you shouldn't hinder somebody from feeling how they feel. You shouldn't hinder somebody from doing what they want to do. Now, don't say nothing if they're doing stuff that's bad or it goes against society. You can't say nothing about it. You just gotta let them. You just gotta accept it and be liberal. I seen Dwayne Wade's son and I said, Lord have mercy. That's the problem with being liberal right there. Dwayne Wade's son just as tall as him now. Because I remember when all that at first was starting to go on. Remember, he was about 12 or something. He was young. You know what I mean? That little boy big now, man. He tall, man. He's still dressing like a woman. Liberalism. Hey, you know who else it's changed me, man. It's changed me for tall people, man. I'm like, God, man, it hurts my soul. Who? Man, he like 7'11", man. Man, take that stuff off, man. Yeah, oh, he do. But man, take that stuff off, man. Imagine that brother in his full manhood, masculinity, man. You know what I mean? 7'11", man. It's a big dude. No, it's a joke. You know, he's tall. He's tall, man. He's 6'11". But that's because of liberalism. You got the scripture? You got it.
Isaiah chapter 32, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
What did they call him? Read that first part again.
The vile person.
Vile. Now, somebody look up vile. And the Bible is saying the vile person shall be no more called liberal. So it's saying that liberal people are vile. What does vile mean? I'm going to my Blue Letter Bible. Right, wicked, right? So somebody who I like the we don't even gotta keep going. I like wicked. Abominable. Right? You ain't gonna be called that no more. The vile person shall be, what it say? The vile person shall be no more called liberal, man. That's over with. And I think black people starting to figure that out. Like, come on. You ever see that, okay, when it comes to like the LGBTQs, right? LGBTQ, you can't say nothing about them for feeling okay. They simply just feel a certain way, right? They feel like God made a mistake, right? I mean, essentially, this is what they're saying, that God made a mistake, and instead of he put me in a man's body, but I'm really a woman. I don't know what he was doing. He messed up, but I'm really a woman, and I gotta respect that, Quahal. I gotta respect that, right? And I gotta treat you like you're literally like nothing's wrong with you, like you don't have a mental illness, right? But you do. That's a mental illness. Because want me to show you how it's a mental illness? Ejemplo. Did I say it right? Ejemplo. Example. If a man says he feels like a woman, right? It's okay. You got to respect it. But if that same man says he feel like a chicken and start clucking like a damn chicken, what's gonna happen? They gonna send him to the crazy house, right? So why isn't that man who's dressed up like a woman, clearly is not a woman, dressed up like a woman, not going to the crazy house? But if I do anything else, besides that, if I do anything other than call myself a man, I'm crazy. But I'm allowed to call myself that. And another thing, right? That's a phenomenon. That's a phenomenon, the way the LGBT, like they've been working at this for a long time, like to bring this to the forefront. But when I was in high school, it was only one dude in there like that. It was only one dude in there like that, and you would get beat up if you know what I mean. That's how it was when I went to school. I went to Wilmington High. Man, look, he was always in fights, but then all of a sudden, it's like, when did it become socially acceptable? You know, when did parents start saying, you know, when did men see their sons like do some like questionable stuff and then, you know, don't check it? You don't check it enough to where he keeps doing questionable stuff to where then now he's just questionable. He's just questionable. What's going on here? You what you got back there?
I'm about to read the article
for center class real quick, right? All right, so I'm just reading okay, so around the earth, people, you know, celebrate Christmas in different ways. I'm just showing y'all like the origins of Christmas, and I'm about to show y'all like another way that people celebrate Christmas on like the other side of the world, right? They call it center class and Swarthy Pete. Right, Swarthy means black, right? So, like I said, Swarthy Pete is a black demon. Of course, Santa Claus, Santa Claus is white. And if you've been acting up, if you've been naughty all year, then the black demon is going to come, and the black demon is going to put coal. He steals the whole kid. He don't put coal in the stocking. He takes the kid.
He said he throws sweets in the air and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. Let's go, man.
So I believe that the rendition of Santa Claus in America actually came from Zwarte Piet and Santa Claus, but they kind of changed it.
Say that one more time.
So the rendition of how we have Santa Claus in the United States, actually, they took it from
I got you.
Holland.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so this is slate.com by Jessica Olian. In Holland, Santa does not have elves. He has slaves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It says the racist Christmas time tradition Dutch people have begun fighting about. As a newcomer to the Netherlands, let me see if I want to skip past what she's saying. Slovakia.
Just show them real quick.
All right. Here's what concerns me. In Holland, Santa, or Santa Claus, as he is known to the Dutch, doesn't have reindeer. He has a little helper named Zwarte Piet, Little Black Pete, who charms children with pepper. I'm not sure what that word is. It's a peppernoten cookies and a cookie demeanor, while horrifying foreigner visitors with his resemblance to Little Black Sambo. Each year on December 5th, the morning before the Feast of St. Nicholas, children all over the country wake up excited for gifts and candy, while thousands of adults go to their mirrors to apply brown paint and red lips in their Zwarte Piet costumes. So they do blackface.
The blackface. Look at this, man. This is literally blackface.
In their Zwarte Piet costumes, they fill central Amsterdam and small village streets, ushering in the arrival of Santa Claus, who, in the Dutch tradition, rides a flying white horse. Trying to tell a Dutch person why this image disturbs you will often result in anger and frustration. Otherwise, mature and liberal-minded adults may recoil from the topic and offer a rote list of reasons why Zwarte Piet should not offend anybody.
Yeah. So every year when they have this festival, because I seen a video, right? The black people get offended. The black people feel offended every time they have this. Every year that they have this holiday, right? But then what the oppressor does is the oppressor try to come and say, "Oh no, it don't have nothing to do with." You know how they do it. You know how they try to rock us to sleep. It ain't got nothing to do with racism or nothing like that. It's a tradition, and it's the same thing as like somebody who represents the Confederate flag. They'll say it ain't got nothing to do with racism. It's just our tradition. That's the same way that they try to explain this whole situation right here. I mean, golly, look at this. They literally dressed up in blackface. They're literally dressed up in blackface. That's crazy. That's how that right there is how they mock black people in America. That right there, those faces right there is how they mock black people in America. All through the 20s, 30s, 40s. Since we had television, they always put pictures of and I even have we even have a book down here. We even have a book down here with like memorabilia from that time, and that's exactly what they used to do. They used to even like when they would market like different products, they would put the black face with red lips, right? And it never stops. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you at in the earth. If you're an Israelite, this is the what you're going to be subjected to. If the Israelites are sinning, what the scriptures say. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 45.
And Salakia, sir, if I could. A lot of people that are even in Holland that see this and they have a problem with it because of the blackface, they don't fully understand where it stems from. Like even though he rides even though Santa Claus rides a flying white horse, he comes across in a steamboat for like the parades and everything.
Yeah. I did see that.
Right. And another thing, he has a resemblance to the Pope. Back in
you see the hat. You see the
right.
Hat. You see the hat that he wear. Y'all ever notice the way that hat is with the Pope? If you turn it to the side, it looked like a fish.
Right.
Like I
like
forgot
an
what
Egyptian thing.
I forgot it. Look up that it's Dagon, Dagon. That's what's popping up.
If I could, what the Pope did in 1492 that relates to this is he defeated the Moors, enslaved the children, and they kept the children as well-dressed slaves like Zwarte Piet, and they put collars around them.
Well, what, a collar or a bow?
Like an actual, it looks like
collar.
a metal collar.
Wow!
It's not like a it's not
like a leash.
Exactly. It's not like your typical
like a dog collar type
like
thing.
Nice looking dog collar.
Wow!
And that's kind of the same parallel that they have. But let me see. You said Dagon and
Dagon, like Dagon. I think that was like an Assyrian dude or Assyrian god or something like that. It was like a fish god. It's like a fish god. And when you look at it, it's the same exact hat. It's the same exact joint.
I can show a picture of it if you like.
Yeah, let me see it first. Man, come on now. What did we? You got it. That's the same. That's the same hat that the Pope wears. Right there. If the Pope turns to the side, that's how it's at. Oh, there we go. You good? That's it on the Zwarte Piet.
It was a little bit more. I'm not sure.
You got it. Come on. Go ahead and give it to me. We got it.
It says, otherwise mature and liberal-minded adults may recoil from the topic and offer a rote list of reasons why Zwarte Piet should not offend anybody. Their quote is saying he's not even a black man. Many will tell you he is just black because he came down the chimney. Then you may reply, well, why aren't his clothes dirty? As the history of Zwarte Piet makes clear, the chimney soot explanation doesn't wash. Zwarte Piet, or his immediate ancestor anyway, was introduced in 1845 in the story of St. Nicholas and his servant, written by an Amsterdam school teacher named Jan Schenkman. In the story, Santa Claus comes from Spain by steamship, bringing with him.
Hey, where he come from?
From Spain.
From an Edomite country, right? Go ahead.
Steamship bringing with him a black helper of African origin.
Hey, they said they try to pass it off as the reason why he's black is because all of the soot and the dirt in the chimney. They always try to make everything black, like dirty and messed up, man. Why, what I'm saying? And but that just doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
No, it just doesn't. It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't matter how they try to spin it. It is racist. It's racist. And but the crazy thing is, no matter how much it offends the people of Holland, they still do it.
Right.
They still do it every year. You know, the devil gonna do what the devil do. You had some more you had on that.
Was it for that.
Give me Proverbs 1 and 1 and 15. I had forgot a scripture. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Right. Supreme, what's that? Supreme 666 says they use the whole "you hate LGBT" as a way to seduce and manipulate to be acceptable. Right. Right. They did. Right. And a lot of times, in a lot of cases, those homosexual men use black women and then turned on black women in the end. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of videos where you ever see that one video? It was like, oh, this was horrible too. Because a lot of times you see the videos where it's, you know, it might be like a group of women, but then it's always like, you know, one homosexual or something. And then, you know, he's allowed to call them bitches and stuff like that. He's allowed to say bitch and all that kind of stuff like that. And they reply back with the same stuff. They actually treat him like he's one of the girls. And I remember seeing this one video where it was a gay man, and he was just so bold, man. He walked up to this black woman, and she was holding a baby, and he said, "Yeah, you know, talking about her dude." And he says, walked up to her and said, you know, we're in so many words, I'm sleeping with your man type thing. You know what I mean? And then she's like, what? She's like, hold the baby. Like, what was she talking about? And like, he hauls off him. For no reason. Just smacks her in the mouth. Yeah. You seen that video?
That's an old tip, right?
It is old.
I think
It's old. It's years ago, but still, it's like, these dudes, that should not be acceptable, man. It should not be allowed in no way, shape, or form. But, and another thing is, it's not, you can't only just place it on the women either. You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of times women was accepting it by, you know, being around them and encouraging it, but we was accepting it too by saying, oh man, as long as you don't come over here with that shit, I don't care what you do. You should care what he doing. You know what I mean? You should care what your brother doing, because like what he's doing, it goes against nature. That's what the scriptures say. You know, what he's doing, that goes against nature, man. Even, okay, look, let me just get down to the birds and the bees here, right? When we hook up cable, right? Ka'as, this question is for you, right? When I hook up the cable, right, into the back of the TV, is it a male connection to a male connection? Is it a female connection to a female connection? It's a what? Male connection to a female connection. Just even with just simple stuff like electronics, they understand. Male connects to the female. Man, what are we doing? Give me Proverbs 1 and 15, please.
Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 15.
No questions over there. Itara, you good? 1 and 15.
My son, walk not thou in the way with them.
Remember earlier, right? It said that my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Right? We was talking about the pastors and how the pastors is encouraging, you know, the behavior. They're encouraging us to sin. Like because Christmas has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do with Christ, has nothing to do with anything. But we're being encouraged to come in there and, you know, support the church as if it has anything to do with Christ or what have you. And the Bible said, okay, if this sinner is enticing you, don't consent to it. Now, when you drop down to 15, it says, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. What does that mean, Itara? Right. Don't do what a sinner is doing. Just a sinner, period. That's what I prefaced it like with verse 10. Remember we read verse 10 earlier, and it said, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thee not. Right. So now it's telling me, like, when I get a few verses down, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. So you was correct. Not to do what the sinners is doing. Now, if I clearly see that my pastor is doing something wrong, I shouldn't be supporting it. And a lot of times, we be knowing that the past, the say, if I can come and say Christmas is wrong and you can come and say, well, you know, it's just a time for me to get, you know, for the family, then you know what your pastor is doing is wrong, but you'll still go in there and sit through that damn service. Read on.
Refrain thy foot from their path.
Right. Now, the Bible is telling you that your pastor, right, is supposed to be a leader. He's supposed to be a shepherd. He's supposed to be a leader for black people. The Bible is telling you not to even set your foot in his path. Don't accept him as a leader. Accept this brother right here in this first seat right here as a leader. Accept that brother back there as a leader. And pretty soon, this brother right here, I mean, they need to just listen to him now.
Exactly.
He got more smarts than any Christian walking on the earth right now. They should just listen to him right now. But he's just too young for me to give a headpiece to. Headpiece. It says, my son, walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. So the ways that your pastor is walking in, the path that he's walking, you don't walk that path. He's whatever path you see him on, you take this one. You see him right here? Look, let me go here. What do they say about the path to the kingdom of heaven?
They said it's narrow.
It's narrow. Guess what? He ain't on that path. He ain't walking on that path. He's on some other. He's on the wide path. He on the wide path. You know where it's room for 5 people to walk hand in hand together. And where they walking to? Hell. You understand? That's where the pastor's walking. The Bible's explicitly saying, do not follow that path. Don't even put your feet in that path. Go ahead. Okay, give me one. I'm gonna read your precept. I'm gonna let him finish out verse 16.
Verse 16. For their feet run to evil.
Where do their feet run?
To evil.
Their feet run to evil. Read on.
And make haste to shed blood.
And they make haste to shed blood. All right. Now, what you have I just wanted to finish that out. What you got? 119. Hold on, let me get there. Psalms 119 and 101. Yeah, you go ahead. That's a you can give it to me. Let the sister read it.
All right. The precept is Psalms 119 and 101. It reads, I have refrained my feet from every evil way that I might keep thy word. Right.
And so what David is doing is he's actually following the advice. Right. The advice is not to let sinners entice you. If a sinner entice you, don't consent to it. Salakia. I lost my spot. No. You good. You said 119 and what? 101. Right. So what David is saying is like, I've refrained my feet from that evil, right? That I might keep thy word. You have to refrain your feet from the path of the sinners, right? Because if you don't, then you're going to sin again. If you're on the same path as the sinner, then you're sinning. Period. So what do I have to do? I have to refrain my feet from that path, like David. Why? So that he might keep the Lord's word. That's it. It's very simple. It's not like, it doesn't take rocket science. This is the most scholarly book I've ever read. Y'all know how we read. Y'all know we got plenty. I didn't read the majority of most of these books in here. And I can tell you by far this is the best one. You know what I mean? I didn't read Think Rich, Grow Rich, Poor Dad. Yeah, y'all know where I'm going at. All these books are supposedly self-help books. 48 Laws of Power, 50 Law of Power, Laws of Human Nature, all that nonsense. This damn what's this encyclopedia? What's that? The encyclopedias or whatever? Sigmund Freud, all that. Oh man, I had to wash my brain after I read that stuff. And then you know what? I'm sidebarring real quick. When I was in nursing school, right? They actually incorporate him into nursing, like Sigmund Freud, and the whole. And I always thought this was weird. why did they let somebody who talks about he has a paper in here, right, where it talks about I don't know the title of it, but he talks about how a baby under 3 years old or something like that is able to have like a sexual pleasure and stuff like that. He talks about sexual pleasure in children. How would he know this? How would he know this? How would he know that come on. But they allow somebody who writes stuff like that, right? And it's in our Encyclopedia Britannica. It's in the Britannica. How would they allow somebody like that to classify kids? And that's actually in what we learned. So yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah.
You said the 3-year-old thing. I looked it up real quick, and I said, is Sigmund Freud Jewish? And it says, yes, Sigmund Freud was Jewish.
Can you give me that book right there real quick? That red book up on top of that, John?
He was born to Ashkenazi Jewish
he's from
parents
Germany.
in Austria. I had no idea.
Yeah, he's from Germany.
So that is because you had brought up the Talmud.
Oh, so lot. I did all that. So yeah, so this is so they have they're how we get these like weird sex on like sexual stuff about kids, and the kids are able to like have sexual pleasure, stuff. Look at Sigmund, right? And so, but Sigmund Freud, when I was in school, and before I even had read anything about Sigmund Freud, I knew something was wrong with what they were saying. They were saying babies go through 3 stages of development, right? Guess what those 3 stages of development is? Kohal, you got your phone out, right? Give me Sigmund Freud's 3 stages of development, and then y'all tell me how this sounds. I was like, why would they classify kids? Why would they classify stages like that? That's weird. And this is what's taught in school. Go to nursing school right now. What's the 3 stages of child development?
The 3 stages for child development is oral stage, anal stage, and phallic stage.
What? Why would you classify that like that? Oral, anal, and phallic. Oral, anal, and phallic. Now, when I hear it, I'm like, what the hell is? Why would they name it that? Oral, anal, and phallic. But okay, this is how the devil is. This is how the devil is the devil. He'll try to spin oral, anal, and phallic like, oh no, oral is just when the baby is just, taking things and just exploring with it, putting it in their mouth. And phallic anal is when they start potty training. It's one of them. One of them is like potty training, and one is somebody. It's just no, man. No, call it the potty train stage. You know what I mean? Oh no, you don't call it oral, anal, phallic. That's weird.
And I want to say, like, in like the breakdown, it says the mouth is a primary erogenic zone. That's like the zone for like pleasure.
Right. Well, it's weird, but see, but when you understand the devil, you understand that like it's like cold with all that kind of stuff, man. And then the masses eat this stuff up because he was just so-called I don't even know what his title was. I don't even know what he was. Salakia, y'all. I don't know if he was a scientist or what. I don't know. But look what he write. Look at the type of stuff he write. And it gets worse. You grab that damn Britannica. Hey, F is just Freud. The whole thing is Freud. He got one whole book. I started reading it. I said, well, I got some highlights in there if somebody want to take it. But look, man, that's just like, whoa. All right, but that was a good scripture. What was that? Psalm 101. Psalm 119, 101. I have refrained my feet from every evil way that I might keep thy word, right? And that's the only way that you can keep the Lord's word, man. You have to try to keep your feet off the path of that damn pastor. Hey, they got the hot cross buns baking right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Ain't that what they make for Christmas? Hot cross buns? That's not Christmas?
Yeah, they do it. They do very hard.
Oh, yeah. I know I'm not tripping. They call it hot cross buns. I remember that from elementary school. It was like a hot cross bun song. It sounds crazy. So I get, but hot cross buns, right? It's like, little bread or pastries or something like that they bake. And I think it has something that overlays it, but yeah, they're hot cross buns, man. Yeah, that's what's going on. Tonight, people are baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven. That's what give me hot cross buns. You know what I'm talking about. Still like it, yo. You know what I'm talking about. The meaning behind it, man. I still ain't even get into my book yet. Golly. Hot cross buns. You said they said they look nasty. They like Esauish, right? Look like some damn pastries. Esau. Well, you can show the camera if you got a picture of it. You can show the camera a picture of it. But do you have anything where it explains hot cross buns? Because they used to make them. I know they used to make them to the Queen of Heaven. And so, like, I just wanted to show you that it's nothing new under the sun, man. When the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, it's literally correct. And don't you try to go make none neither.
I got something where it's supposed to go in the Christian world, like Christ and stuff like that.
It's hot cross buns.
Yeah.
Give me whatever on them. What I'm looking for is because I could have swore I read at one point in time where they were like baking them to a queen, like baking them to the Queen of Heaven or baking them to somebody. But you can give me what you got, Cos.
It says symbolism. The cross on a hot cross bun symbolizes the crucifixion of Jesus and his resurrection. The cross on top of the bun represents the cross on which he died. The spices in the dough represent the spices used to embalm Christ. The bread represents the body of Christ. Breaking it can represent the Last Supper and Christ's death.
Hey, they taking this is my body, this is my blood to a whole new level. And why the hell are we worshiping the cross? That, you know what I mean? That's like your family member gets shot with an AK, then now I'm starting to rock an AK, or I'm like worshiping the AK, or of course. Let's go, sis.
It says hot cross. Well, this is the AI overview, but it says hot cross buns for the Queen of Heaven refers to the ancient pagan tradition of offering cross-marked buns to a female deity, often associated with the moon or sky, like Ishtar.
That's what I'm looking for.
Inanna, which is Sumerian, or the Greek Artemis, essentially viewing the cross as a symbol of the celestial sphere and worshiping her as the Queen of Heaven. The tradition is thought to be the origin of the Christian hot cross bun, where the cross now represents the crucifixion of Christ.
Perfect. Thank you. Tawada. That's what I was looking for, because that's what I read before. And AI is proving itself to be pretty good.
Right. And if I could, this kind of goes before that. It says ancient Egyptians used small round breads topped with crosses to celebrate the gods. The cross divided the bread into 4 equal sections, representing the 4 phases of the moon and or the 4 seasons, depending on the occasion. Later, the Greeks and the Romans offered similar sweetened rolls, and then it goes in.
Right. Until so those both go together. Yeah, man, this is ancient stuff here. That, in some cases, people still make these damn things in certain parts of the world. people are still making hot cross buns. And let me show you something. So, the buns is crazy, right? It's like here, y'all. Jeremiah 7:18.
Jeremiah 7:18. The children gather wood, and their fathers kindle the fire.
Hold on 1 second. I said Jeremiah 7:18, right? Let me see if I need to go up real quick. Oh man. Isn't this where hold on 1 second, y'all. Bear with me. All right, go up to 14. All right, because see what's going on, right? When you go up, you see that so the Lord is telling Jeremiah to stand in the gate, right? And he's telling them to prophesy. And the Lord is telling him to prophesy because I think I'm not sure which chapter, right? But remember the Lord was telling it was Jeremiah, it's one of them, right? Where like I'm going to give you a bit, like I'm going to show you what they in there doing, right? And they was in like he showed them what the brothers was in the temple doing. It was in there like baking the cakes and worshiping the Queen of Heaven and all that kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about, Paul? It's something like that. Where it's something like that. But so the Lord is telling Jeremiah to prophesy, right? And then so we're gonna start at verse 14.
Jeremiah 7:14. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh, and I will cast you out of my sight.
So this is what the Lord said he was going to do, right? The Lord is going to cast us out of his sight, right? Why would the Lord be casting us out of his sight? One of the new sisters. Why would the Lord cast us out of his sight? Meaning like, why would the Lord send us away from him? Or why would he be angry at us? Adultery. That's one. Perfect, right? Sinning. Perfect. Y'all hit it on the head, right? Y'all give it up, man, for the sisters, man. Right? Because this stuff ain't easy. This stuff ain't easy, man. The generals used to ask me questions back in the day, and I used to be like, like I couldn't spit it out. You know what I mean? And y'all able to, you know. So that's good, right? So the Lord is angry. The Lord will be angry at us if we sin against him. And so if we sin against the Lord will cast us out. He won't pay attention to us, right? Go ahead.
As I've cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim.
Right. So he's saying that I have cast out your brethren, even Ephraim. Y'all know in Hosea, when you read Hosea, it talks about Ephraim and how Ephraim went off and how, you know, of course, you know, we wasn't going to be the Lord's people and all that. Hosea, y'all read Hosea. If you haven't got a chance to read Hosea because it's good history. All the whole Old Testament is good history, but, you know, read Hosea as well. If you want to see what he's talking about as far as Ephraim, read on.
Verse 16. Therefore, pray not thou for this people.
Do what?
Pray not thou for this people.
Pray not for the people. The Lord is hardcore.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, you know what? That's the reason why a lot of Christians probably don't want to go to the Old Testament, because it's so hard, because it contains stuff like this. The Lord, like, don't pray for them. But in our so-called heart of hearts, you know, you being a human being, you want to. But the Lord like, nah, don't do it. Read on.
Neither lift up cry nor prayer for them.
Don't even lift up a cry or a prayer. Go ahead.
Neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee.
What does that mean? What does that like? Don't make intercession. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead. Right. Don't try to come in. Don't try to come to me. Like if Kaash is doing something wrong, hey, don't try to come and speak on Kaash's behalf. Like, oh Lord, you know what I mean? You know what? Take me instead, Lord. Punish me instead of Kaash. Nah. Or whatever. Not necessarily what I said, but try to make intercession, try to pray for you or anything like that. Don't even pray for them.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
For I will not hear thee.
I will not what?
Hear thee.
I thought the Lord was all loving, all cookies and bubbles and cakes and sprinkles. And the Lord is like, I ain't even gonna hear you. That's the Lord that I know. That's when I picked up this damn book, that's the Lord that I read about. I read about a God that is different than the Christian church. I read about a God that stands on business. If you say, look, hey, you make an agreement, nigga. All right, I'm gonna hold you to it.
Exactly.
We gonna stand on business.
Exactly.
Hey, don't you stand on business in the streets?
Right.
Hey, our Father stand on business too. Go ahead. God, the Lord working. Man, look, I'm gonna tell you who working on you, and you ain't gonna like my damn answer. I'm telling you, you ain't gonna like my answer. Who's working on you? Huh? the hot cross buns, That's funny. That is super funny. You got it.
Verse 17. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem?
Like you don't see what they doing in the cities of Judah. You don't see what Judah doing. We see what Judah doing. I'm at, like just literally like in today's time, 2024. This Bible is like like I can literally ask y'all this question right now. Like y'all don't see what Judah doing, y'all don't see what black people are doing in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem and Wilmington, down in Smyrna, in Dover. You don't see what they're doing up in Philly, over in California, what black people doing it wherever black people at. Go ahead.
Verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire.
That's what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Spiritually. In some cases, maybe not. The children are gathering wood, and the father's kindling the fire. Right? He's doing the hard part to kindle a fire. To actually make a fire like from back in these days would have been something hard. Like right now, I could just go like this. Ooh, fire. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, to kindle a fire would have been hard. Well, for sure. Okay, so for sure, the kids are definitely picking up what the fathers are doing, but they are actually still making these damn cakes. They still baking these damn cakes. You know, the buns, sluggy. They still, the kids. So they're telling you how they're making these cakes, right? But for what you're saying is for sure true. Like the kids pick up everything that the father and the mother does. Verse 18 from the top.
Verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven.
To do what?
Make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods.
We're worshiping other gods, man. We're worshiping other gods, and we're literally pouring out drink offerings for them too. Not only are we baking damn cakes and stuff like that, we giving you a damn drink offering. Hey, I wish they would have been in. Hey, look, man, I ain't wasting my drink on no damn heathen god or nothing like that. No, I'm not doing that. Yeah. They might have been doing that 3,000 years ago, but I ain't. And so that's what they were doing. These brothers was baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and they would pour out drink offerings unto other gods. Read on.
That they may provoke me to anger.
Right, and we're all that's doing is just provoking the Lord's anger. That's all that's doing. Cross hot buns, ain't all this stuff that you know. So like cross hot buns, all this stuff that people doing, it ain't nothing new under the sun. The Bible already told us that. So we understand this up in here, but you know, our moms, our dads, our Salakia, my dad is in here. I ain't talking about you, Dad, because you in here. But our, black people, as our moms, our dads, our grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, they don't understand this. They out here baking them cakes, man. They out here baking them cakes. They making hams. They making, everything else that they making to get ready. Man, oh my God. And the entrails. Oh, the entrails is popular in the black community. And it hasn't become like unpopular. I'm gonna get you in 1 second. I went to it was like a fast food restaurant, right? I was down in Florida, and they actually serve, you know how you can get chicken and rice, lamb and rice, fried chicken. They had chitlins in a restaurant. That was my first time ever seeing chitlins in a restaurant, but they literally had chitlins in a restaurant. That's crazy. What the hell is this? That's what I always thought entrails was. Let me see something. Let me Google it. Because it said entrail. I mean, I'm just using the word like, hold on. Entrail? Slave food. Because in that video where they talking about the Afro-Argentinians, they said that because when their president came into office, their president said that it feels good to be in a place that doesn't have Black or Indian people. No, I was like, God, that's horrible. Yeah, they had a couple of presidents that said some, so they're not even recognized. But one thing that she said in there, she said they was always, they're like descendants of slaves, and they said they would get fed entrails because of slave food. And y'all seen when Kunta came over here, man, the dude came in there and tried to give him a plate of goddamn chitlins. Man, Kunta smacked that. Bah! That's the worst food. Oh, man. I did try it before when I was young, because I remember my grandmom and grandpa used to, I can remember that smell in the house. I didn't know that that's what they was cooking. Like, I didn't know what they was cooking. I just knew that anytime they was making whatever that was, it smelled like doo-doo, like crazy doo-doo, like like you can't mask that smell. You can't mask it. I don't care how you try to mask it. It says entrails, a person or intestine or animals intestines. Yeah, that's what it is, intestine. And hey, I was watching it. I was on Facebook or one of them, right? And the lady was like, she had a sink full of chitlins. Oh, and she grabbed it chitlin, and it still had like the anus, like, you know what I mean? It still was like that part, you feel me? And then like they like squeezed it and it like came, oh man, like you really, that's literally like, it's man, they still that was the tutor. Yeah. It was the tutor. Yeah. It was a tutor. They ain't had a rooter on there now. They ain't had that. It was the straight tutor. Rooter to the tutor. Rooter, the straight tutor. And And she when she grabbed that, man, and the doo-doo came out that thing, man, I was like, how could you eat that?
Did you see the one where the pan of the chip, like the juice just fell on a man?
Ew.
Laughing, everybody, and he goes to sit down, and then his head hits the pan, and all
Bro, I bet he was like,
he had locks, and it's just
I bet them things they make them stink worse. They already bad. They make them stink first. You got sprayed by a skunk?
No, I'd rather be sprayed.
Oh, I probably would. I probably would too. I probably because at least with the skunk, I could jump in some tomato juice. I don't know if you're gonna get that doo-doo smell off you, man. Golly. It from a pit. Oh Lord.
It ain't about getting the smell off you, it's the idea.
Just the idea. Man, look. Man, could you read that from the top one more time? 18, 7 and 18.
Awan Khan. This is Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. See?
No, so I'm gonna read something out of the Occult Holidays or God's Holy Days, which right. This is a book that I pretty much use for like Halloween, Christmas, any Easter, anything that you them little holidays, man. They got like they quote different books. Like one of the quotes that we're about to read is from, y'all ever heard of the Two Babylons? Hislop, the Two Babylons. That's one of the books that's on the ISBK approved book list. So we're about to read a couple quotes from that on Christmas. All right. Quahal, if I could get you real quick. We got Valentine's Day with what Sharif was talking about, Ishtar. And they always make Ishtar like the fertility goddess. You ever see them fertility goddess? When you look say like the Zondervan, not the compact Bible dictionary, but the other one we got right here, the full one. You'll see they always make them ladies with like, they always make them ladies, and Salakia for the ladies that's in here, but they always make them ladies with like a bunch of breasts. You ever see the fertility goddess? They always have multiple breasts. Yeah, but more than Total Recall. But like Total Recall on steroids. You know what I mean? Like Total Recall on steroids. Most people seen Total Recall, so y'all know what he's talking about. Total Recall, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then he was on Mars, and the lady had 3 breasts. Well, that's what oh, that's funny. And so usually when you see those fertility goddess, they always have like, multiple breasts. It's a fertility goddess. Like, what you're dealing with. What my point is. Yeah. Let me see real quick. I think it's what you got right there. I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna start with that. Yeah, the Christmas tree. And then I'm gonna end right here. I think that's 2 paragraphs. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Kanat the water for Jeremiah 7 and 18. Delaware South, Pops in the building. Let me get my shout out. Supreme, Tashi Young, just started paint. Trooper I Ward, Yashia, the I or Die, the Shell, and Yaquar. Shout out to y'all. All right, go ahead.
Awan Khan. This is Occult Holidays, or God's Holy Days, which by Fred R. Coulter.
Uh-huh.
All right, page 72. The Christmas tree. Now, so common among us was equally common in pagan Rome and Egypt. In Egypt, that tree was a palm tree. In Rome, it was the fir. The palm tree denoting the pagan Messiah as Baal Tamar, the fir referring to him as Baal Berith, the mother of Adonis, the sun god, and the great mediatorial divinity, was mystically said to have been changed into a tree, and when that state to have brought forth her divine son, if he
and that's still the, if you notice, it's still parallel to Semiramis and Nimrod,
right?
Like where Semiramis, well, Nimrod is dead and his spirit in the tree. It's still all like sort of like the same myths. Go ahead.
If the mother was the tree, the son must have been recognized as the man, the branch. Hislop, the two Babylons, page 92 and 93, bold emphasis on bracketed comments added. And you want me to keep winning?
Yeah, the second paragraph. If I could.
The word of God reveals that the custom of the Christmas tree is vanity.
Is what?
Vanity.
Means what? Nothing. Right? The Christmas, and we read that like a week or two ago. I think for one of the sisters, how the Jeremiah, in this same Jeremiah, he warned us about the Christmas tree and how it didn't have any life in it. What you're reading is like either the lady was in the tree.
Right.
We've heard stories that Semiramis and Nimrod was alive, still in the tree, stuff like that. And what Jeremiah was warning us about was that the tree is not alive.
Right.
There's no spirit in the tree. The tree can't do anything. You have to go chop that damn thing down. You have to carry it in the house. You have to put it, stand it up and all that kind of stuff like that. And he was actually checking our fear of a damn tree, because we running around scared of a damn tree, bringing presents to it. And he like, Negro, what are you doing? Don't be afraid of the tree because the tree can't do anything. All right, go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
The customs of the people are what?
Are vain.
Means the customs of America means nothing, right? They're nothing. The customs of the people are vain. Go ahead.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
Oh, so he's going into what we read in Jeremiah chapter 10, right? Go ahead.
The work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers.
Hey, Ahava Torah, I'm with you on that one. Such a waste of a beautiful tree. Hey, they tearing down the trees. Don't they say that we get oxygen from trees? They turn them down for nothing. Tearing down 100,000 trees for them to stay up in your house for one day and catch fire. They dry out because we lazy. We ain't gonna take it out until January something. Tree dry as hell. You got it.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Parentheses, Jeremiah 10, 3-4. While God calls such customs an abomination, people have been misled into believing that such practices honor God.
People have been what?
Have been misled or selected.
I like that term. I'm picking up what he putting down. That term. People have been misled. Go ahead.
Into believing such practices honor God.
Right. So we've been misled to believe, and this is somebody who's just some Edomite or something who's just writing about Christmas.
Right.
Right. He should be following Christmas, right? Because that's what his people do.
Right.
But he has enough sense to say no. Right. People are being misled into believing that Christmas is honoring God. The Christian church believes that Christ is God. So they're being misled into believing that Christmas has anything to do with Christ.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We know that Christ isn't God. let me say that too. Christ isn't God. In the Christian church, they believe that Christ is God. And he's saying that people have been just misled to believe that Christmas has anything to do with God. Go ahead.
Yet every year at Christmas time, religious leaders and historians readily admit that Christmas was originally a holiday and celebration of the pagan sun god.
Mm-hmm.
Hislop writes, therefore,
can y'all hold it down back there? Go ahead.
A holiday and celebration of the pagan sun god. Hislop writes, therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth.
Say that again. It said the 25th in Rome. The 25th to Rome means what?
Therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God appeared on earth, was held at the Natalis Eventi Solis, the birthday of the unconquered sun. Hislop's Two Babylons, page 97 and 98.
Right. And so, and the unconquered sun with S-U-N, right? Or is they saying
they have it as S-U-N.
S-U-N, right? Because remember, the Romans actually did worship the sun.
Right.
Yeah, they worship the sun on what day?
The 25th of December.
On the 25th of December, but every week they would worship the sun on what day?
On Sunday.
You got it. Any more on that?
After it just says the birthday of the unconquered sun. It goes further. And so you want me to read that?
Let me see real quick. I might get one more part. And I'm out of here. Oh shoot. Could you get this part right here? I just get that part right there for time's sake. Just this one paragraph.
All right, this is page 73. Almost identical to the ancient Egyptian practice, Christians have for centuries in their churches, cathedrals, and city squares exhibited a nativity scene replete with a crib, the little infant Jesus, and Mary and Joseph.
Right, we've all seen those scenes. I mean,
Right.
You see it everywhere. Everywhere they make this little scene in their yard or in the front of the church where it's supposed to represent Christ and the Christ in the manger and the wise men and all that stuff. Go ahead.
The church celebrates the nativity on December 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Many churches and homes set up a crib at Christmas. This custom, although of very ancient origin in ancient pagan Egypt, was popularized by Saint Francis of Assisi. In the year of 1223, he visited Pope Honorius III and sought approval of his plans to make a scenic representation of the nativity.
Right. So this was approved in the 13th century, 1200 and something?
1222.
Where it's like they're making the popular nativity, right? What we see today. Go ahead.
Having obtained the Pope's consent, Francis left Rome and arrived in Gracio on Christmas Eve. There in the church, he constructed a crib, grouping the images of the Blessed Virgin and Saint Joseph of the shepherds, the ox and the ass. At midnight mass, Saint Francis acted as a deacon. After singing the words of the gospel, and they laid him in a manger, he knelt down to meditate on the great gift of the incarceration, or Salakia, incarnation, Salakia, incarnation. And people around saw in his arms a child surrounded by a most brilliant light. Since then, the devotion to the crib has spread far and wide. Worshiping a baby in a manger has continued in modern times to be a prominent theme of Christian Christmas.
So that's what are they doing? Worshiping a baby in a damn crib,
right?
And you can go out anywhere right now and see the nativity scene. You can go on West Side and see the damn nativity scene in poor black people's yard. Come on, what are we doing there?
Egypt.
The water. And most of these customs, most of these practices came from Egypt,
right.
Went to Rome, went to Greece, and then the same Romans just repackaged it. Remember, because we're dealing with the same Romans and the same Greeks of the Americans and the Brits of today is the Romans and Greeks of yesterday. All right. And so I think unless anybody has any questions, I'm about to end it right there. I think that's a good place to stop. And with that being said, I'll pass the class over to Priest and Officer Cole Hall.
All right, this is the ISUPK security announcements. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment, which can be found in Numbers 18 and 21, and also Malachi 3, 18, 3, 8 through 10. In the Hebrew, it is ma'ashra, which means 10% of any increase the Lord gives you. Also, we do have a free will fund, or like a priest fund. If you want to, donate, it's not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated. It be funds, a bottle, whatever's on your heart. All right, up and coming holy convocations. We got the Feast of Hanukkah, which is also known as the Feast of Dedication. Tune in. The general will be going live tomorrow, and also Delaware will be joining Philadelphia for that. So that is tomorrow on the 25th. Don't celebrate Christmas. Do it like Christ did. If you want to be a trooper in the school, remember to wear all black boots, pants, shirt, and headband or war scarf. And with that being said, men of Israel are mightium, which means defend. Israel, mighty Shabbat, mightium, Torah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshabakathum.
Sorry, give the sisters a courtesy salute. Sisters, you can go ahead and stand. Mighty Shabbat, mighty Torah.
Yahweh Shamar Alatham Hashem Yahweh.
All right, Yajmatah, class dismissed.